And we got the second game for the playoffs on Wednesday, November 29th. San Luis coming in at 7th place. Monterrey in 2nd place. I don't know if you guys have watched the first video I just put out with León and America. But usually these top teams, usually it's that first, second, third place team. They usually end up underperforming in these playoffs in the Liga. And the 6th, 7th, 8th place teams, they usually take advantage of it, usually because they have to fight for their spots, those last couple spots, and they get into rhythm, and they got a lot less to lose, a lot less to prove, and that's where these top teams get hit right in the gut. But just a quick thing, the picks I got for you on the side, I'm not locking all of them. It's just some picks that I see that I think you can place your money on, that I think are good bets for the price. But me personally, I'm just going to take the dog in this one because I've seen these teams underperform time and time again. Doesn't matter how dominant they've been in the season. The fact that they've had 3 weeks to a month off of no games, no competition, no rhythm. They're coming in cold. They haven't had any action. I think they underperform here again. That's why you see Monterrey a little bit Well, actually, they're actually a pretty big favorite compared to that America León game. But that's probably because it's a San Luis team. But either way, San Luis at home has been proven that they're a dangerous dog when they're at home. If you got San Luis either when it's close or they're a dog, they perform pretty well. They can usually compete neck and neck with these bigger teams, especially at home. On the road, they don't even do a bad job either. So I think San Luis looks alive in this one. I'm going to take San Luis on the money line for sure. I think it's just a lot more worth it. But even then, if you go with Monterrey, I don't blame you. This league, the Liga, guys, the Liga MX is just a hard league to handicap in general. So much unexpected crap happens in this thing. But I think at the end of the day, San Luis is a live dog here. If you want to go with San Luis draw on the double chance, even then, I don't think that's a bad price. Minus 145 for San Luis and a draw. I think worst case scenario, San Luis can bring this Monterrey team to a draw, and then they probably lose in Monterrey after Monterrey starts finding the rhythm. I personally think Monterrey can win the whole thing, but nonetheless, both teams to score is not a bad price either. It's just we've seen San Luis get shut out at home. I'm not touching the both teams to score, me personally, but if you take it, I think it's an okay bet to take, especially at a minus 165. Honestly, minus 170 is usually the most I like to pay for anything just as a single bet. Anything more than 170, I think, is a parlay piece. That's just the way I bet things. If you don't like it, if you like to take it single, I don't blame you either. There's been occasions where I take a minus 200 type of bet single, not a parlay piece. But not in this case, though. Not in this case. I can see San Luis getting shut out, or even this team just going 0-0, or this game going 0-0, I mean. So not much else to this. It's just there's not a lot much to go off on, but usually just these top teams, first, second place, and third, those teams usually end up underperforming against the teams on the lower table. And San Luis is a team that they won at home against León to get this 7th place spot. So they already got a little bit of rhythm going. And again, at home, they still have a pretty fighting chance. So if they're going to win, it's going to be in this game. At least that's what I'm feeling. I'm going to take San Luis for that plus 215. I think I might even take it on the double chance just because I do think this game can also go 0-0. Monterrey going cold and San Luis, maybe a little bit intimidating. Maybe they're just warming up. They're just warm enough to play Monterrey head to head and give them a good fight. And I think the under is definitely a good bet here too. Monterrey, again, I know both of these teams have been in some high scoring games, but that was them in rhythm. I think out of rhythm, the under hits. So if I'm looking at anything, it's the San Luis money line, the double chance, the under 2.5, under 3, just because I can see a 0-0 game, but I can also see either side of this winning 1-0. And we're just going to have to wait until playoff time or till game time, because I wish I had more information for you guys, but there's just not. All I can tell you is usually these top place teams underperform, and I blame that again. I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but it's just these teams end up underperforming. I think it's just because they've had too long a break. 3 weeks to a month is just, I think, is just way too long a break. And aside from all the breaks we've had earlier in the season, weird things happen after a break, and San Luis is the only one that's had a more recent game, and even then a more recent win. They ended up beating Leon 3-1 at home. I think they're strong enough to at least pull a 1-0 win here on Monterrey on Wednesday, November 29th. So let me know if you guys have anything different, but that's just my thoughts on this game. And I think these playoffs are just going to be a little bit tricky to handicap. I think the second game is going to be a lot easier to handicap. But as for this first game, we're probably going to have to go in a little bit blind. And if we're going to go in a little bit blind, we might as well have some plus money in the back of our pocket.